and maintaining housing in the Bay Area can be tough. Unfair treatment can mean you don't get the apartment you want, you pay more for it, or you're evicted unfairly. Fair housing is your right, but what exactly does that mean? Fair housing laws prohibit discrimination based on many things: race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, disability, marital status, sexual orientation, gender expression, source of income, age, and medical or genetic information. But the reality? Discrimination still happens even if it's illegal. Housing discrimination can be difficult to recognize, so we will spend some time talking about what discrimination can look like when you're looking for housing, applying for housing, and when you become a tenant.
One thing to know is that discrimination can look a lot of different ways. Sometimes you just have a feeling that you're not getting the same services as everyone else. Discrimination can be intentional or unintentional. But if the landlord's policy or practice has a different impact on you because of your identity, that's illegal discrimination.
Let's start by talking about discrimination that can happen when you are looking for a place to live.
Landlords often use coded language. We hear from our clients that landlords tell them things like,
"We aren't really set up to serve people like you.
Given how many kids you have, we can't rent to you.
"We really only rent to people who speak English only."
I'm sorry, we have a no seniors policy. It's all the stairs."
It's not just landlords. While you're looking for a place to live, you may be discriminated against by a real estate agent or a building manager too.
Other things clients tell us they hear are comments like,
We have a blanket policy, no felonies.
"We're only really looking for people from the neighborhood."
This is a family building.
If you're looking for housing and hear similar statements, you should talk to a lawyer because you may have been discriminated against.
Discrimination can occur when you're applying for housing.
Pay attention to when a landlord is requiring additional rent, deposit, or information. This might indicate to you that your landlord is treating you differently from other applicants and is discriminating against you.
These are examples of illegal discrimination by a landlord. Refusing to rent to you or requiring additional rent because you are pregnant or parenting. Charging extra fees when you ask for something due to a disability, like an emotional support animal or a parking space close to your unit. If you have a disability, you have the right to ask for an exception to a rule or policy to meet your disability-related needs. This is called a reasonable accommodation. Refusing to rent to you because of your criminal history. A landlord can consider your criminal record history in limited situations, but it is illegal for landlords to impose a blanket ban against anyone with a criminal record. Refusing to rent to you because of your immigration status. Landlords can't ask you about your immigration status or require you to make statements about it. They also do not need your social security number. Refusing to rent to you because of a Section 8 voucher. You can't be discriminated against based on your source of income. Refusing to add your same-sex partner to the lease. Once you're in your housing, you are still protected from discrimination by fair housing laws. Unfair discrimination against a tenant can look like your landlord won't make time to repairs for you, but they do for tenants of a different race. Rules that don't allow children to use common areas. Your landlord won't provide important documents in your language. Threats to evict you because there is noise and police activity related to domestic violence. Domestic violence survivors are protected by fair housing laws. Your landlord complains about the smells from the food you're cooking or doesn't like your family visiting for gatherings. Your landlord refuses to grant you reasonable accommodation. Your landlord tolerates harassment of you or your guests based on sexual orientation or gender expression. Now that we've talked about what groups are protected by fair housing laws and what discrimination can look like, let's talk about what you can do if you experience discrimination. First, document everything.
Save any written communication with your landlord, including text messages, emails, and letters. Keep a log with dates that describe any discriminatory interactions you have. Take photos and videos of any visual evidence of discrimination.
Second, you can send a letter to your landlord naming the discrimination and demanding they stop. Keep a copy of the letter and send it by certified mail. Third, you can file a fair housing complaint with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing.
Here are some tips for when you file a complaint. You must file the complaint within 1 year of when the discriminatory act happened. Remember to explain how the discrimination is based on one of the protected groups. An investigator will call you and interview you.
You have rights, and we want to help you deal with issues related to discrimination in all forms. To learn more, check out our website or call our legal advice line at 1-800-551-5554 to talk to us about how we can help.